story of the Swordfish and the casual heroism and indomitable spirit of her crews sits at the heart of our nation's naval aviation heritage. To see the Swordfish flying today is a poignant reminder of the courage of the young men who flew her and the great price paid to keep the vital Atlantic lifeline open.
Hello and welcome back to another review by Diecast Wing Collectors, or DWC as we know. And this one is one of my holy grail models, believe it or not. It's one of my top 5, so maybe I'll do a video on this relatively soon. One of the aircraft I've wanted for a number of years, and this one is Corgi Aviation's AA36309. It's a fairey Swordfish Mark II, representing LS326, which is still with the Royal Naval Historic Flight. And this occasion, it's from 836 Squadron Fleet Air Arm L Flight. Mac ship Rapana and the North Atlantic convoys in 1943, and of course, as it says, and restored Royal Navy Historic Flight Yeovilton, which now no longer exists and is now classed as Flying Navy. Let's get into this. Should be an easy one because there's no assembly required. Let's have a look. So as I touched upon, it's now just called Flying Navy. You can see that on the bottom of the box there. But it was previously Royal Naval Historic Flight. It was one of 3 Swordfish on the flight, 2 which were airworthy and a 3rd which was used potentially to be airworthy in the future. But at the moment they've got the 1 aircraft flying, and this one is being completely stripped down and hopefully reassembled to reappear in the next year or two. To have potentially 3 Swordfishes on the UK display circuit, because there's another one that I believe the fuselage is with Arco Duxford and the wings were with the Hawker Restorations team in Milden in Suffolk, which is now unfortunately folded, and all that gear has been sent to Australia to be owned by a company called Pays Aero. So let's open her up and have a little look. So this aircraft, as I said, is one of 2 Swordfishes that I didn't have, or now 1 Swordfish which I don't have, which is the silver one with the floats, which I believe is from Malaya. It's a very nice looking scheme as always. This one comes with the certificate, in this case one of 1450 created, and this is number 761. And this is the first time I'm opening this, so you'll have to go with me. A little bit of yellowing on the box inside there. Of course, this is the old lineage of Corgi when it was pre-Hornby. So let's open her up. So again, plastic clamshell on the outside. In this occasion, not too hard to rip out. And of course, you've got some sponge there that protects the rather fragile Swordfish wings. If I can adjust the camera ever so slightly and zoom in. So let's just remove those slightly from there, which is a really good idea because it stops the plastic from rubbing against the actual airframe as such. Move them out. There we go. And of course, the beautiful thing with the Swordfish is it comes with the folding wings. So very, very simple, completely assembled as it is. It comes with the rather chunky, newer style stand without the circular bottom. Let's get her out of the box, put her on a stand, and then we'll put her on her wheels. So here she is out of the box on a stand. Obviously to look at now, you've got your temperate sea scheme on top on your white standard naval Swordfish. It's got a nice bit of banding on the prop hub there, if you can see that, the light blue and dark blue. Lovely detail on there, including the Royal Navy LS326 on the rear, and of course L2, so you can find the aircraft, and of course the pilot sitting in there, navigator and rear gunner. Swordfish is a great model, it really is, and this one is one of the ones that comes with the rocket firing capability, which I'll show you a little bit more detail with that in a minute. Of course, the 8 rocket rails on the bottom there. Of course, the most recent one until the new one, which is the Taranto raid one, of course, come with bombs, which was a nice touch as well to add some variety to your Swordfish fleet. So a little bit of history in a minute, but really, really chuffed with this. This is up there with my favourite schemes. I think I've always loved the Legends example with the D-Day stripes, which is very similar to what is flying now. It's not that exact aircraft. I believe this aircraft was created by Aviation 72 in a very similar scheme with, I believe it had a whole white engine, correct me if I'm wrong, and the budget range of models, but of course you didn't have the folding wings, which I'll demonstrate shortly. And of course in this occasion got the antenna on the wings there as well, which is a nice little touch, and of course the bracing, which is intricate to say the least, both on the wings and on the tail. So let's get her on her belly, fold the wings, and I'll give you a little bit of history around the aircraft. So here she is on a wheel. So let's give you a little bit of a demonstration of the folding wings. Very intricate. Just 2 little pins there, as you can see. You've got to be so careful you don't want to buckle them. There you go. Nice little touch. It saves some shelf space as well, which if you've got a packed display very much like mine at home, then you can see that. Let me just zoom in on the joint now. Very clever little way of joining it. The little pin to the top, and of course 2 little circular sort of hatches there which clip it in. But yeah, just be very careful getting them out of your box. I think there was some instructions with the last one, the operations swordfish in the US markings, just to be really careful around that. So in terms of a little bit about the history, so of course these were used on the Atlantic convoys because they suffered great losses, and that was mainly down to a lack of air cover. If you've seen the film on Apple, and forget the Tom Hanks one now, Greyhound, it's a perfect example of how open and inviting it was to the German wolf packs to sort of get in amongst them. Really good film. Really highly recommend it. I believe they're making a second one now as well, which is really good. And of course, these ships carried some of these ships carried a flight had a small flight deck and carried a fleet of 3 or 4 swordfish armed with rocket projectiles or depth chargers. And these were all used as part of 836 squadron, and provided flights for 19 MAX ships with a total of over 80 aircraft, making it the largest ever fleet air armed squadron. And they operated often in horrible conditions, of course, in the Atlantic, especially in the northern Atlantic, can be incredibly hostile. And they're often carried, and of course, the work and the maintenance was carried out on these open flight decks in the rather high waves, cold, rain, wind, snow, hail, God knows what else. And of course, LS326 was one of these aircraft, and it was involved with HMS Rapana. And of course, being a survivor, she still flies today, not quite yet anyhow, but hopefully she will do soon, soon-ish, 18 months to 24 months, I believe the plan is. It'd be great to see 3 swordfish together on the flight scene, with the Canadian one, which is over here being restored as well, which is now going to live on the UK Civil Aviation Register, and hopefully they will get to all fly together as well. Yeah, really proud of this, to get this one over the line. I'm going to do one on a Thunderbolt next, which is again one of my top 5. But let's give you a little bit of a close up of the rockets. Let's show you underneath there. There you go. Nice detailing on the rockets. And of course, you've got the ladder for the crew there as well, and of course the tail hook for landing on carriers as well, and the bracing underneath the rear wing there. Nice bit of detailing. The wheels actually move on this as well, so you can move them around, which is a nice touch as well. And of course, the prop spins nice and freely in this case as well. So really nice example of a swordfish, one that retails usually around about the £60 to £100 mark, depending on how urgent people want it. But it's not an easy one to find. I'm very lucky to have found this. It's taken, well, best part of my collecting life to finally get her on board and join the rather large swordfish fleet, which is cramped to the max back at the Man Cave in Romford. So thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'll produce a 360-degree video on this as well to supplement the main video review. Thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, press that subscribe button as soon as you can, because we appreciate all the support going forward. Thanks for watching. Take care.